So we're now in Nepal, and we're in the taxi, and we have a taxi driver and we have a co-driver. What's your name?
My name is Basu.
Before going to Nepal, I'd been told that this country has some very friendly people that show a genuine interest in who you are and where you're from. And that was the case already in the taxi on the way from the airport to the city. I'm with tour operator Basu Rimal.
And we're here in Nepal, and you just started asking us a lot of questions about Scandinavia, Norway. You've been to Norway?
Yeah, I've been to Norway and I've been to Finland. But Scandinavia is really nice country. I like it, but much cold.
Yeah, but you have not been to Denmark yet?
Nah.
But do you work in tourism here in Kathmandu?
Exactly. I'm working in tourism. I'm guiding on Himalaya.
Yeah.
And according to my own experience, and I do have a travel company in center. Before I'm starting to my tourism job was 2012 to until 2016. I was guiding on Himalaya, and after 2016 till 2019, I'm working on company, and I have a small company. It's called to Himalayan Speed Adventure Treks and Expedition.
Oh! Say that again.
It's called to Himalayan Speed Adventure Treks and Expedition.
I can't repeat that.
Yeah, try to say that 3 times.
To Himalayan Speed Adventure Treks and Expeditions. To Himalayan Speed Adventure Treks and Expeditions. To Himalayan Speed Adventure Treks and Expedition.
Still don't get it. But the name of his company is Nepalaya Treks and Expeditions. The website's even more simple, nepalayatreks.com. Link in the notes section and on the radiovagabond.com. I only have 3 days here, so let's get on with it. My name is Palabo. This is the Radio Vagabond, episode 225. Welcome to Kathmandu, Nepal.
This is the Radio Vagabond.
Last week, I asked you guys where we should go, and there was a big majority of the votes that say that we should go to Nepal. Thank you all for being so active on the Radio Vagabond Facebook page. Great to feel that you're there. I'm here with a good friend from Denmark, and we're staying in a little guest house called Ambassador Garden Home. It's in the heart of Kathmandu, in a vibrant, lively area called Tamil. This area has the biggest tourist market in Nepal and the biggest business hub with a ton of guest houses, restaurants, shops and bookstores. Obviously, I found Ambassador Garden Home on hotels25.com. It's a place where you get the best deals on guest houses, hostels and hotels all around the world in one simple search. It's called hotels25.com and it's best price guaranteed. That means if you find the same place cheaper at another place, they will refund the money.
So we only have 3 days here. What should we see, you think?
Because of you are from different country, you are foreigner, you love to come to Nepal to see the nature.
Yeah.
Our country was naturally very, very beautiful, and you are just here for 3 days. You can do the mountain flight to see the Everest experience flight, and next one is you can do you can see the architectures for around in Kathmandu Valley. Here is the architectures things is very beautiful, and over here,
we saw that from when we were flying in. It was so beautiful.
Exactly, yeah. And around in Kathmandu Valley, you can see the temple and lots of Darbari Square and statues and stupa.
Nepal has 122 major languages. Nepali is the most common, spoken by 78% of the population, either as their first or second language, and has official language status. But the other 121 languages are all recognized as national languages. And as you know, I always try to learn a few useful words and phrases. So now it's time for the Radio Vagabond Language School. Today, Nepali.
Hi, how are you?
तपाईलाई कस्तो छ?
Hi, how are you?
तपाईलाई कस्तो छ?
Goodbye.
गए.
Goodbye.
गए.
Thank you.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
धन्यवाद.
What is the best local beer?
तपाईको देशको राम्रो बियर कुन हो?
What is the best local beer?
तपाईको देशको राम्रो बियर कुन हो?
Where is the toilet? Quickly, please.
कृपया टोयलेट कता छ?
Where is the toilet? Quickly, please.
कृपया टोयलेट कता पर्छ?
And that was the Radio Vagabond Language School. Today, Nepali.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
I'm in the southern part of Kathmandu, in an area called Patan. It's the oldest city in the Kathmandu Valley and also known as the City of Fine Arts. I'm right on the square called Patan Dunbar Square, and here are some ancient buildings that looks kind of Chinese, and there's also a lot of statues of lions. Also looks very Chinese, but it's really, really beautiful here. Very old and ancient, and hectic traffic, as you can hear in the background, and also a lot of small local shops here.
Patan Dunbar Square is situated in the center of the city, Lalitpur, around 10 kilometers from the city center of Kathmandu in Nepal. This square is one of 3 Dunbar squares in the Kathmandu Valley, which are all UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Dunbar Square is a marvel of noir architecture. The square floor is tiled with red bricks. There are many temples in the area. There's also a bell beside the main temples. It's a stunning and lively area. In March 2015, it sounded like this right here. This is from a YouTube video that I linked to in the notes today, shot when the square was heavily damaged by the earthquake in April 2015. The earthquake struck near the city of Kathmandu in central Nepal on April 25th, 2015, just before noon. Around 9,000 people were killed, many thousands more were injured, and more than 600,000 structures in Kathmandu and other nearby towns were either damaged or destroyed. The initial shock registered a magnitude of 7.8, with the epicenter only around 77 kilometers, 48 miles, northwest of Kathmandu, and 2 large aftershocks with magnitudes of 6.6 and 6.7 shook the region within 1 day of the main quake.
Have you ever wondered what the places in this podcast actually look like? I have. So, I started following the Radio Vagabond on Instagram, simply by searching Radio Vagabond. And now, facts about where we are.
Kathmandu is the capital city and the largest city of Nepal, with a population of 1.5 million in the city and around 3 million in its wider urban areas across the Kathmandu Valley. Last week we were in La Paz, Bolivia, the highest capital in the world, and Kathmandu is also up there, standing approximately 1,400 meters, 4,600 feet above sea level. It's number 17 on that list. Kathmandu is known as Kantipur, which means the city of glory. The rich ancient culture and diverse religions make this city as the city of glory. Kathmandu Valley is full of cultures and heritage sites. It has 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Kathmandu Valley itself was accorded the status of World Heritage Site in 1979. The world's biggest mountain is pretty close. Mount Everest is only 240 kilometers away from Kathmandu and can be seen from Kathmandu Valley. Even though this country lies between 2 big countries, India and China, Nepal has never been a colony and never been ruled by any foreigners and other countries. Nepal was a kingdom ruled by the Shah family from 1768 to 2008. The beginning of the end for the kingdom was when the crown prince killed his father, the king, his mother, brother, sister, and many other members of the royal family in 2001.
And that was facts about where we are.
And where it happened is where I'm going next. It was in Narayanhiti Palace, which is now a museum. It used to be the royal palace, and we got to see the bullet holes on the walls. Because this is where most of the royal family got killed by the crown prince on the 1st of June 2001. Here's how the official story goes. The royal family gathered on a Friday night, as they usually did on Fridays, for a family evening. The king, the queen, their kids, a few cousins and close friends. In total, 24 people were invited. After dinner, the crown prince, Dipendra, was in the billiard room playing pool alone while drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar containing a mixture of hashish, as he often did. When his brother, Prince Niranjan, and other family members noticed that he was starting to sway back and forth and had difficulty standing, they suggested that he went to bed. While he was in the bedroom, he made several phone calls to his girlfriend, Divyani Rana. She later said that she noticed that his voice sounded a little weak and very slurry, so she called his assistant and asked him to go and check on him to make sure that he was okay. He and another assistant went into Dipendra's bedroom and found him lying on the floor. They helped him undress, and then he went into the bathroom and started throwing up. He then turned to his assistants and asked them to leave the room, and called his girlfriend one last time and said to her, "I'm going to bed. Good night. We'll talk tomorrow." But he didn't go to bed. What happened next will blow your mind. Sorry, bad choice of words. Stay listening. We'll be right back.
Whether you're traveling or dreaming about travel, Amateur Traveler has something for you. Amateur Traveler is a podcast that's been in continuous production for 16 years. We have episodes on every continent, every state, and almost every country. Each episode has pictures and links to help you with your trip planning. Whether you want to hear about your favorite destination that you've been to or discover new destinations and new adventures, if you want to go there, we probably have an episode. AmateurTraveler.com.
Travel is possible at any age. Your sense of adventure is just over the horizon. So, reach out and grab it. This is the Radio Vagabond.
Let's get back to what happened in Nepal in the Royal Palace. I'm doing a tour of the Narayanhiti Palace Museum here in Kathmandu, and we're in the pool room. I'm stunned to learn what exactly took place in this room in June 2001. Let's just recap. At some point at a traditional Friday night party, the Crown Prince went to his bedroom pretending to be drunk and high. Or maybe he was. He fell asleep on the floor, he woke up and threw up before calling his girlfriend saying that he would go to sleep. But he didn't. After the call, he put on an army uniform and armed himself to the teeth with an MP5 machine gun, an M16 assault rifle, and a Glock pistol. Then he started walking back to the pool room where the family and friends were chatting and having drinks. At this time, his father, King Birendra, was sitting at the pool table entertaining the guests with the story. Dipendra reached the pool room and stood at the door. First, he fired one shot from the machine gun towards the ceiling. Conversation stopped and they all looked towards the door in disbelief. Dipendra then pointed the gun at his father, the king, and shot and wounded him. Witnesses later told that the king just looked at him and said, "What are you doing, son?" before he fell to the floor. Dipendra then opened fire again and killed half his family in that one room. His mother and brother managed to escape into the palace grounds, but Dipendra followed them and shot them dead too. In the massacre, he killed his father, his mother, his younger brother, his sister, and other close members of the family. In total, 9 people in the royal family were killed and 5 others were wounded. At the end, Dipendra turned the gun on himself. He didn't die instantly, and while he was in coma at the hospital, he was crowned king, according to the rules of succession, but died in the hospital 3 days after the massacre without regaining consciousness. No one really knows why he did this. Some say he wanted to dispose of his father and install himself as king, bringing the monarchy back to absolute rule. Others say that he was put up to this by his uncle, the king's younger brother, who wanted to be king himself. Some say he was angry at his family because they wouldn't let him marry the woman that he loved, Devyani Rani, who was a member of a rivaling dynasty. And then some say that he didn't pull the trigger. He was described as an always smiling gentleman and a modernist who would be for democracy in Nepal. Many controversy and conspiracies surround the circumstances of the massacre. Even today, many questions remain unsolved. Questions like the apparent lack of security at the event, the absence of Prince Gyanendra, Dipendra's uncle, who ended up succeeding him. Also the fact that Dipendra's self-inflicted head wound was located at his left temple despite him being right-handed. And the fact that the investigation only lasted for 2 weeks and wasn't very thorough. For one, it didn't involve any major forensic analysts, despite an offer by Scotland Yard to carry one out. But according to the government-appointed inquiry team, the Crown Prince Dipendra was named as the perpetrator of the massacre. I put a link to a video from Journeyman Pictures where surviving family members tell their eyewitness account of what happened.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
A visit to the Narayanhiti Palace Museum was absolutely fascinating. It feels like walking through history of the Shah dynasty in Nepal. Everything inside the palace makes you seem royal. Larger-than-life pictures and paintings of royals in Nepal, and lots of mirrors can be found everywhere you look. You'll get a lot of steps walking through each and every part of the museum, and I encourage you to do so if you want the best experience. Entrance fee was 500 Nepalese rupees, a bit more than $4, a bit less than €4. You have to hand in your cameras and phones, as photography is strictly prohibited. I also had to hand in my microphone, even though that's clearly not a camera. But the guys didn't know. It's a microphone. It's not a camera. No, not a camera. Microphone.
Yo, 1 minute, right? Sir, yo landum sir. Camera छैन छ microphone रे. Give this lock, okay? Not allowed.
But it wasn't on the sign. So since I don't have any pictures, you just have to go yourself when you get to Kathmandu. And don't forget to look for the bullet holes.
If travel is your passion, and you want escapism while still upholding your work and family responsibilities, you can travel vicariously from the comfort of your own home. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
What about the weather in Kathmandu, you ask? Well, the wet season is warm, muggy, and partly cloudy, and the dry season is comfortable and mostly clear. I was there in December in what's called the cool season, and it normally lasts for 2 months from early December.
This time of the year here in Kathmandu, it's getting colder, but it's not freezing cold.
Exactly. In Kathmandu, if it's going to be more rain, it's never water freezing on here, because it's going to be minus as well, never water freezing. This time of year, not that much cold, but till just 3 days before it was heavy rain, and it was cold on 3 days before. Now weather is almost okay.
So in the winter when it gets cold, do you get a lot of snow here, or is that only in the mountains?
It was only on mountain. Kathmandu is never snowing.
Oh.
Yeah.
In Nepal, there are different climates according to altitude. The subtropical climate with a rainy season in the southern flat strip, the temperate climate in the low mountains, and finally the cold mountain climate in peaks of the Himalayas, of course naturally on Mount Everest. In the summer monsoon from June to early October, they get a lot of rain.
Okay, please don't laugh at me now, because now I'm going to say the name of the place I'm at right now. And just to give you an idea how difficult it is to say, let me spell it for you. SWAYUAMBHUNATHAITYA. So it's Swayambunat Mahachaitya. If you're Nepalese, I'm sure you will think this is nothing like it said. But I guess that is the reason. It's also called the Monkey Temple. That's what people call it. It's a little bit in the outskirts of Kathmandu on a hill, so you have an amazing view of Kathmandu. And it's called the Monkey Temples because there's supposed to be monkeys here. And I thought, well, we might be lucky to see one, but no worries. There are thousands, literally thousands of monkeys running around, small and big, but they're everywhere. So many monkeys here, and they're used to people, even though I don't think I'd like to pet one. There might be some rabies there, so I try to stay a little bit away, but they're used to people, so you can get really close and get some very nice photos. Even though this is a typical tourist place, it's also a temple, and it's got a vibe to it that there are a lot of kids running around playing, chasing the monkeys, but there are also a lot of people just sitting in the sun, meditating or praying, because it is a temple, lighting candles, and it's a very unique place, and definitely a must-see if you're in Kathmandu.
The Stupa, also called the Monkey Temple, is one of the most interesting places in the Kathmandu Valley when it comes to architecture. It's got a perfectly proportioned monument in the middle that rises through a whitewashed dome to a gilded spire, from where 4 iconic faces of the Buddha looks across the valley in different directions. This site was also shaken severely by the 2015 earthquake, but the main stupa only got superficial damage. Above the stupa there are thousands of prayer flags, with mantras which are said to be carried to heaven by the wind horse. My 3-day visit to Kathmandu was coming to an end. Sitting at the airport, I knew one thing.
I'll be back.
That's what you always say.
No, it's not something I always say, but in this case, it's something I know for a fact. And when I do, I want to find a nice little quiet place in the mountains and stay longer. I want to be able to wake up and have my morning coffee with a stunning view, and spend some time getting close to the wonderful people of this country, and get some quality time with some of the people that I already met, like Basu, the tour operator of
To Himalayan Speed Adventure Treks and Expedition.
Nepalaya Treks and Expeditions, and most of all to someone you didn't hear speak so much in this episode, AJ. He appears briefly in an interview episode I made with another traveler, Robin, that I met here. Robin is a young German backpacker who met AJ on a previous visit.
It was like 10 o'clock in the night, and he was tuk-tuk driver.
He was the tuk-tuk driver.
Yeah, it was funny. So we was looking together for accommodation, but then he gave me this offer to stay with him and his family, and we spent a beautiful evening together. And even the next day, we was going to some temple I would never go for myself. So in this way, there's new ways coming out of being just open for anything.
And you were actually the local tuk-tuk driver. Why did you invite him home?
Because I think he was looking for accommodation and that night, because in Nepal, not like other country, many bad people will be come. So if somebody came and maybe thief came and some install problem, so I offer him to go my home. Then he agree. Then we gone. That's it.
AJ was his tuk-tuk driver, and he invited Robin home to meet his family. And this time Robin was back, mostly to see them. AJ lives a bit from Kathmandu, but still took the time off from work to come to Kathmandu and show us around his capital city. Since then, I've been in regular contact with AJ. Hi, sir. And he's one of the reasons I really want to come back here. I put a link to the episode with Robin in the notes section of this episode and on theradiovagabond.com. This episode is supported in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best deals on hotel rooms, guest houses, hostels, and apartments all around the world in one simple search. The same place can be more expensive on the website that you're looking at. So go to Hotels25.com. If you like this episode, please give me a review and 5 stars and tell a friend about it. It really means the world to me. You're the best. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.
Produced by radioguru.co.uk. I'll be back.
Ha! You did not gonna say that, did you?
That's what you always say.
I do.
I'll be back.